2 people asking if they would be recommenders for me. It's so scary. You're asking people who already know you if you did well enough to like deserve them to like speak on your behalf. Hiya, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lulu and you're watching Call Me Lulu. If you clicked on this video, you probably know this is gonna be a vlog, probably a part 1 of me applying to grad schools this year. This will be my second year applying to MFA programs in creative writing. Last year I applied to 4 programs and I got rejected from all of them. But this year I'm gonna be a little bit harder working. I'm gonna be a little bit more realistic. Last year the programs I applied to were all fully funded and they all had an acceptance rate around 1%. I'm pretty sure. I think one had an acceptance rate of 0%. No wonder, right? This year I'm applying to a mix. I'm applying to 2 fully funded programs and 3 partially funded programs for a total of 5. And then one of the partially funded programs is low residency. Being a little bit more realistic is something that's gonna serve me. I'm more hopeful this year than I was last year, I think. I think last year it was kind of like a reach for the stars, kind of like a punt. And then this year it's like I've kind of been floundering and I need to like reattach to the world, and that might be a way that I do it. I have some things going for me. So I've been working as a reader for Flash Fiction magazine, which is a publication I really respect and enjoy like reading for. I've also been continuing to work on my own creative writing, and I think that has majorly improved and I'm really excited to show that off. I am also not planning to have major surgery this year 10 days before applications are due, which I think will be very helpful. I am really excited to go into this year healthier and to send those dang applications in. I've already started working on my writing sample and my statement of purpose. Today, I'm gonna revise my statement of purpose and I'm gonna take you through that with me. I'm gonna email my recommenders and ask them for a recommendation. And I'm going to polish up a submission to send out to some literary magazines. And we'll see how things go. Okay, I emailed 2 people asking if they would be recommenders for me. There was a 3rd person who gave me a recommendation last year who was working an academic post then and is now freelancing, so I don't have contact information for him, so I had to reach out to someone else to get it. But that's like, it's so scary. I feel like that's like one of the scariest parts of like applications for me, is asking for recommendations, because it's like you're asking people who already know you if you did well enough to like deserve them to like speak on your behalf, and it just feels so weird and I like shake and I don't like it. I just emailed them asking politely if they would want to serve as a recommender for me again this year. I emailed some of my updated work to them, and then I gave them the updates about like stuff I'd done this year to improve my writing and to improve my chances. Yeah, I'm glad that that's like done, or that that process is started. Because I think like most of us know sending emails is like a terrifying experience. But it's okay. It's all right. We're okay. I'm gonna move on to working on my statements of purpose. I feel a lot better about my statements of purpose this year because I'm like getting my desk out. I am able to work off of the statements that I wrote last year. So I've already drafted this statement and it's going better than it was last year. I'm not a nonfiction writer. I think I've said it many a time, but this is like, personal writing is very hard for me. I would like to write fiction. I don't enjoy this. But I'm glad that I have my statements from last year. I've been looking through them in writing, so I printed out my statements from last year, a paragraph about the projects I'm working on, a paragraph about my skills, so like workshopping, different types of writing, teaching, all that stuff, editing. And then I wrote some paragraphs about like my influences for my collection and in general. I was very lucky. I had a former writing group member send me his personal statement that he got into the IO Writers Workshop with. So I can kind of look at that as an example. I don't know that that works, that that's like the perfect statement, but I know that it's a statement that didn't get rejected. This is my draft so far. I think it's like 800 words long and it's not even done. Like not all of the stuff is in there, so I'm gonna have to like trim and add quite a bit. I think I was like in a rush to include like every single thing that I could last year, and I think I fell into some like traps about like personal statement. And this year I think I'm like focusing a lot more on just talking about my projects and talking about why I would be a good candidate instead of like framing a whole personal essay. Yeah, and I feel like I'm much happier with it. It's weird because I have a YouTube channel, but I'm generally happiest with my writing when I'm sharing the most about my project and the least about myself, and definitely doing that a lot more here. So I'm gonna get to working on it. Reading over my draft of my statements right now, and it's like the amount of times I use the word craft in the first paragraph alone. Like right now I'm like, I'll just let the wording like be whatever it is when it comes out of my mind. I'm not like gonna edit myself right now. I'm just gonna put stuff down and I can hammer it out later. But in the current draft that I'm writing, in the first paragraph, which I think is 3 sentences. I use the word craft 2, 3, 4 times. That's gonna have to get fixed eventually. Like we're gonna have to fix that. But I'll get back to it. I'm gonna take a break now. I do not feel good about things. This is not a task that makes me feel good. For anyone who watched last year, did I have a breakdown last year while I was writing my personal statements? I don't want to go back and check, but maybe this is just something that makes me feel really bad. I'm working on my second draft. I think it's a different draft. I don't think it's necessarily better than the first draft. I don't think the organization is better. I don't think the content is improved. But you just gotta trust the process. So I'm gonna finish my second draft and then I'm gonna write my third draft. And hopefully it'll start to come together there. I'm gonna have a little sweet snack. All right, I had a snack. I charged my camera, I'm hugging the puppy, and I put on Copelia. I have no idea what's going on in Copelia, but it's very cute. While I was doing all of that, I had one recommender say yes, and then the person I reached out to give me the contact information for the third recommender gave it to me, so I have that now. And I can go ahead and email that person. After I do that, I'm gonna get back to my personal statements, and I'm just gonna write the draft that I have in front of me. And when I get to the end of that, I'm gonna do it again. I was thinking about how it like stresses me out because I feel like there's like a formula that I don't know. But I'm also like someone who researches so densely. Like I've read as many MFA statements of purpose as I can. And I think I got my MFA statements professionally edited last year, and I don't think that that was a very helpful process to me. So I'm trying to just like be internally directed about how I'm writing these things this year. And it's tough. It's tough. Like, I think normally whenever I am stuck, I like to go to people. But I think that right now I need to kind of like push through myself. Just gonna go ahead and start working on it again after I send that email to my recommender. That email is sent. It took a very long time. I also emailed back. The other person who said that they would recommend me, like the person who responded yes. And I feel like emailing them is like especially fraught when you're like, oh, this person has a PhD in the English language, or like this person is a well-respected playwright. Like, you don't want to have like grammatical errors when you're asking people who are scholars of the English language to like recommend you somewhere. So it's like, I'm very like, oh my goodness, am I making an error? Am I making an error? And I don't think either one of them would care. I think they would be understanding, but I always double, triple check. So going back to personal statements now. All right, it's the next morning. Today, I'm gonna go volunteer at a horse ranch. It's actually just like a fully for-profit business. So it's just kind of free labor, but hopefully it's good experience and I learn stuff, and hopefully I can film a little bit because I think that would be really cute. But after I come back from the horses, I'm gonna start working on my statements of purpose again. And I'm also gonna polish up some of my writing today. So I went to volunteer at the horse place. I didn't film because there were other volunteers there and they were very kind. I feel bad for saying it was just free labor. It was not. The lesson program instructor was there the whole time, like watching us with the horses and was like providing information. So it was like a whole horsemanship lesson that we just didn't have to pay for, which was wonderful. And everybody was so sweet. I'm gonna get some Dutch Brothers for me and for my husband, and then I'm gonna head home and start working on grad school stuff. All right, I volunteered with the horses. I have my coffee, so it is time to get back to like kind of zero draft 2 of my statements of purpose. I did hear from an additional recommender, or someone I'd requested to recommend me, and he also said that he would. So feeling good about that, because some you only need 2, but I'm hoping to hear back from the third person very soon. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work on this draft. I also thought I was gonna polish up stuff to submit today because there are some magazines that are closing tomorrow for submissions that I really like, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. I think graduate school stuff is just a lot more important right now, and I'll be ready to send my submissions when like spring editions of publications open up.
Number 310, Alique de Mortier, Belgium, Papelia.
All right, it's almost dinner time. I've been working, had to fix my Rocketbook. Something was broken, but I was able to figure it out. And I just heard from my third recommender. So I have 3 yeses, 3 people who are willing to give me recommendations, which is great. Very much a weight off. It's the same 3 who recommended me last year. I'm not worried at all. I'm like very confident in the recommendations that they would give. Now I just have to get everything on my end done. Right now, I'm having a hard time writing my conclusion for my statement of purpose, so I'm gonna go ahead and read some more examples on the internet because I think the one I have as an example has a very quick conclusion and I find quick conclusions a little bit stressful, even though I know that the statement of purpose needs one. So I'm gonna try and look at other statements of purpose, even if they're not for like MFAs in creative writing, and see if I can kind of get a grip on what the structure is there.
When my muscles just hurt so bad, making sure you get enough protein, drinking honestly an excessive amount of water, replenishing yourself with electrolytes, mixing like honey, cinnamon, frozen fruit, like that'll just make it taste so good. It literally tastes like a dessert and it's ice cream. And for that person that asked about more, what do you think about YGP and other ballet competitions? I've been down that path of restriction. It really didn't work for me. And so I need to just be happy with the way I look because this is the way I am in order to be healthy. And for me, like health is
So I filmed a little bit of my morning routine, but yesterday was my birthday and I got absolutely zero done. I don't know why I thought that I was gonna get stuff done. But today I'm actually gonna work on stuff. Send out my recommendation requests. So a couple days ago, I sent out the recommendation requests for one of my schools. I'm gonna do the other 4 today. Actually start like the physical body of the applications, most of which are due at the end of the month. And then I am also going to work on my statements of purpose. I did, when I was filming 2 days ago, I finally found like a framing for my statements of purpose that can be brought in a little bit at the beginning and a little bit at the end. That's just like very quick and yet very like whole. I think like it really encapsulates like why I write and what I would like to write. So I'm excited about that. And I'm just gonna keep revising my statements of purpose until I'm happy with them. I think today I'm also gonna write an outline because like one of the like online resources that I was looking at said that it's best when you're working off an outline for these statements. And I agree because they're very structured. So I think having an outline would be useful. I sort of have it in my mind right now, but putting it on paper could be good. So yeah, that's just what I'm gonna work on today and I'm gonna get to it. Oh, I also asked one of my recommenders for one more recommendation just for an internship to a literary magazine. So I'm gonna work on the application for that today as well. Right now, it's about 2:30 p.m. today. I started having a late lunch. I couldn't decide between fried rice and Japanese sweet potatoes, so I made them both. But yeah, I'm just reveling in how hard this actually is. Like, I've been working since 10 a.m. and it is now 2:30 and I'm still just like plugging away. Like, I'm not anywhere close to done with these. I haven't even taken a look at my writing sample this year. I'm still just like, I've been filling out the applications, sending out the recommendation forms today so that my recommenders have enough time to like fill them out when they need. And I've been working on an outline of my personal statement. And it's like taken forever. Like, I'm very fortunate to have the time that I have to commit to this and to be able to do it for a second year in a row. But it's just like heartbreakingly inaccessible. You know, so many people want to develop their craft in fiction and in writing, and they have to go through this process too. And a lot of people have to do it more than once if you want to get into like a program that's fully funded, or you need to get into a program that's fully funded. Acceptance rates are so low that a lot of people end up applying more than once. Oh, part of me like is like, if you know you were eligible for these programs, if they were considering taking someone like you, like you'd already know the people there, you'd already know you had a shot of getting in. I think fiction writing is just so decentralized. Like, you could be the best writer in the world writing alone in your basement and no one would know about you, which is also a scary thought. But I'm gonna keep going. Now I'm working on the body of my applications. I moved from recommendations to transcripts. For 2 of the programs, I have the transcript requests fully sent. One program was asking for like mandatory information I didn't have on one of my recommenders, so I had to email and ask him for that information, and once I hear back, I can complete the recommendations there. And then I'm sending my transcripts in right now, which is just so financially painful because you have to pay to submit the application, and then I also have to pay for transcripts. But I'm working on transcripts right now. I think I've sent transcripts to 3 schools. And because I have taken community college classes after doing undergraduate work, I have to submit 2 transcripts to each school. Luckily, the community college transcripts are free, but I still have to request them. Good morning. I woke up today to a personalized rejection. It is my 3rd personalized rejection this year, which is kind of sad but kind of great. Like a personalized rejection or like a high tier rejection. This was from a literary magazine. All 3 I'm talking about were from literary magazines. It can be a sign that your work was closer to being published than not, but also it's like upsetting because you're like, oh, I was right there. I was right there. But the personalized rejection is an important step in a lot of writers' careers. I hear you go from like form rejection to personalized rejection to publication, and I'm just in the personalized rejection phase this year, which is like a good sign that an MFA is a right next step so that I can get my work that much better so that it qualifies for publication. But yeah, it's the 3rd publication this year that I really respect, that almost wanted my work but kind of didn't. So and now I have the feeling that there's something I should like urgently be doing that I'm not. But I'm just gonna work on graduate school applications until I have my like annual checkup at 11 a.m. today, which is sort of weird because I go to the doctor so often, and I still have to do like an annual checkup. But they're just gonna check me out and see that I have all of the things that they're already treating me for. So. So I'm here finishing up my breakfast. It's like banana and sweet potato with peanut butter, but I got back from my doctor's appointment, and I was working on the outline for my personal statement while I was like in the waiting room there, and they were pretty efficient, so I got back relatively fast. And then I think I'm gonna do a little bit of like a teeny tiny workout because I feel good today and I want to stretch. And I do like very light workouts, like 2 or 3 times a week, to just try and build strength. I have been very sick the past couple years. I also had a peg tube inserted into my body, and this went directly through my abdominal muscles. So I need to like build those back up, especially because like a lot of the sports and activities that I love are very balance based, and your balance comes from your abs. So it's later in the evening, and I'm here with my beautiful kitty Nim, who I hope you can see. And I'm just gonna do some reading for the literary magazine that I volunteer for. So I'm a volunteer reader for Flash Fiction magazine, and I absolutely love it. I love flash fiction as a medium, and I love reading submissions for that. You learn so much so quickly doing that. So I'm just gonna do that. I worked on my statements of purpose. I finished my outline today. I actually got a little bit of a conclusion paragraph done, which is good because I think my conclusion paragraph was really weak before. I also read the graduate school statements of purpose, like Kisses of Death essay, and like some research around it, and I'm gonna link that in the description for anyone who's curious because it was so helpful. Yeah, so I've just been reading like examples and stuff, and I think something finally clicked for me, and I'm excited to see how that goes tomorrow. And I think I'm just gonna end like this vlog at the end of a week, and then do like my writing sample in a separate video, because I think that might be a more joyful experience. But anyway, I'm gonna get to reading now. And now it's Thursday, so I'm gonna go watch Critical Role Campaign 4 with my husband and the pets. Morning! I think I'm gonna make some pancakes for breakfast today. I'm just feeling gingerbread, and I have gingerbread pancake mix, so I might make those. And then I'm gonna work on grad apps for a while. After that, I might go volunteer with the horses this afternoon. So that'll be fun. Anyway, come with me to my dirty kitchen. And this is a really weird angle, but I just wanted to stop and mention this before I forgot. I was researching the programs that have application deadlines on the 1st of December, and they're programs I applied to last year and was rejected from last year. So I'm reapplying. I was looking at the staff changes, and one of the new professors this year writes eco-fiction, which is what I write sort of mostly, and it's a lot of what the projects I want to work on in the MFA are concerned with. So not only am I super excited to learn under that person potentially, but also it's a lot easier to personalize the statements to the schools because there's someone there who my work aligns with so well. That said, I'm probably not getting it again, but I'm just really looking forward to personalizing those statements because it'll be a lot easier this year for those schools. So it is the end of the day. I have finished, not final, but close to final drafts of the 2 statements of purpose that are due this Sunday, December 1st. And I still need to put copy edits on them, or I guess I still need to proofread them. But the copy editing is done. I've switched out all of the words I didn't like for words I like a little bit better, made sure the sentences were varied and correct. I do feel like I use a lot of passive voice in them, and I am in a rut where I can't get out of it and my brain just funnels. I don't know what's happening. But I'm gonna do a final little proofread of these, and then they're gonna be ready to upload. And tonight I'm gonna start working on my writing sample, which luckily for these 2 schools is short. But yeah, I feel like I should have done one of those videos that's here is me before doing my graduate statements for several hours, and here is me after, because this is me after, completely burned out. My brain is jello. Words do not exist except as babble. But I also feel like I rode a forward horse this morning who was possibly too advanced for me before I got in for the day. So I think even if I had done a shot before, I would not have looked well. But that's all right. I'm gonna keep plugging away. And I guess I'll see you guys tonight.
Is a strong move. I think it's really, really interesting, this jumping on the zine trend that's been going on, making their own little magazines and things that have been happening recently, tying it into being analog.
It's the next morning, got ready, have my chai, and I actually looked back at the video I made when I was applying to graduate schools last year, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that girl looked so cute with her red hair and her nails painted. I looked so put together compared to this year, but that's okay. And also back then, I think I was on my period and also had just had major surgery when I was vlogging, and I'm good for her. But this year, last year me had completely forgotten how to ride a horse, and now I've barely relearned how to ride a horse. And last year's me was planning for a puppy, and this year's me has been dealing with one. So, that's that. But my goal for today is to finish proofreading and submit my statements of purpose to my first 2 schools whose applications are due on the 1st of December, which is in 4 days. And I also want to work on my writing samples today. Whew. So the writing samples for both the schools that are due at the end of the week have a 9,000 word limit. And I've written stories that have gotten personalized rejections from publications I really admire. And I'm gonna put those up at the front. And those are 3 stories, but they only total 5,000 words because I write very short fiction most of the time. And I wanna add at least one more piece that is the beginning part of a novella that I plan to use to end the story collection that I'm working on. And I think it's really, really important that that is included, even though right now I only have a rough draft, which you would normally never do. Do not submit anything that's still in draft form, like in your writing sample. Like, normally only include pieces you've been working on for a long time. But I think that that beginning of the novella really ties together all of the other stories and like gives a good idea of the kind of collection that I'm working on, and how it all comes back and like cycles through. So I want to work on that today. And hopefully that will take up that last 3,000 to 4,000 words. Literally what I'm going to do today is I'm going to Google like how to start a novella, because I have the first few pages written, I have ideas, but I don't think I necessarily have like a strong plot or like set of actions in it. And part of me thinks that that might be okay if I'm just setting up story, because like the rest of my writing is so like boom, 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 boom. Like plots happen very fast, things go bang is what I like to say. That like I'm kind of debating if it's just okay to, in that one section, not have that much happening. But I also think that an admissions committee might think that like if I'm submitting the beginning of a novella, that beginning part still has to be a complete piece, even if it's setting up the rest of a bigger story. If you feel like it's worthy of submitting, it has to stand on its own. So I'm kind of going to be thinking of like what kind of little story I can accomplish within those 3,000 to 4,000 words, and like how to make it a cohesive whole.
One thing, you're getting a bundle deal.
Hello, it's Black Friday. I'm gonna go into work my retail job at noon. Until then, I'm gonna work on rewriting the beginning of the novella. Right now I have 600 words and I want 3,000, so progress is not going the way that I would like it to go. But I think I did rewrite the beginning from scratch, and I'm getting to the part where I can just copy and paste things in, so hopefully it starts going a little bit faster. And I could submit my applications tomorrow or something. So on Saturday, they're due on Monday. But yeah, I'm gonna get to work on that. is 5 p.m. the night before my first 2 applications are due, and I am really cutting it close here. I finally have, Percy, could you not? I finally have my writing sample and my statements of purpose up to like a level that I'm okay with. And I'm gonna go ahead and format those fuckers and send them in. I submitted my first application. It's formatted, it's submitted, it's done. Apparently one of my transcripts that I requested about a month ago has still not come in, even though it was electronic. So I'm gonna have to call the school tomorrow, which is the last possible day, and try and get that stuff figured out. My nerves were like really crazy after I submitted it. I'm like developing a stress rash, but you know, hopefully it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna have some weird fries and soup. Okay, Percy, it's okay. We're all over here. Yeah. Hey. Come here, little one. But yeah, took some peace in the idea that like, even if the things I want feel far away, I'm putting myself on a path where they could possibly, be on that path, which is not, okay, you are not helping me, my love. Come here. Okay, come on, sit with me. Okay. So it is December 2nd, the day after my applications were due, and everything is in order but one thing, which is the transcript situation. But I have assurance from one of the programs that there is like a grace period to deal with that. But I'm just gonna call them up today. When I called yesterday, I was caller 87 in the queue at one point. And they did call me back before end of day, but then it was like the 1 second I was away from my phone and I missed it. But want to get everything settled for that today. And then goal number 2 is just to appreciate my husband, because he's been a very good husband. My regular horseback riding lesson is normally today, but it got canceled because it is 34 degrees and windy and muddy today, and the horses at the facility are all seniors and they need some rest. I'm not going to my horseback riding lesson today, but I do normally bring my husband a little treat after my horseback riding lesson, so I'm still gonna get him a treat today. I'm also gonna do a Target pickup for him, just because he's been the sweetest and like very helpful when I've been like very nervous and full of anxiety for the past couple days. And then I'm going to work at 1 today. It'll be the end. I will also close this video today, close this chapter, but I'll take y'all with me. Hello, I am back. It has been a short time for you, but a longer time for me. It's February the 11th right now. I managed to get my transcript stuff sorted. It was actually pretty difficult. So what happened was, I was a continuing education student, and I actually needed to request my transcript specifically from the continuing education department and not the transcript office itself. But when I requested it from the transcript department, there was like no notification that went out that I had done the wrong thing. You're sort of just supposed to know that, but I did not know that. And so I kind of had to redo everything from the beginning, but everyone in the transcript office and the continuing education department was like really nice. So I got that sorted. The 3 schools that I ended up sending my transcripts in late to accepted them. And like are honoring my application. So I'm waiting on results from those. And then I have another application deadline in 3 or 4 days on February the 15th. So I'm gonna get my stuff all ready to send in then, but I'm in pretty good shape. And then I have my last deadline in mid-March, I believe. And I'm gonna keep you guys updated with that, but I'm definitely gonna end the video here. When I started editing, I had about 20 hours of footage, and I've been able to edit that down. But I definitely want to like leave it here, and anything else I say about grad school this year will be in another part But if you stuck with me through this entire video, thank you so much. If you're applying to grad schools this year, I wish you all the best. If you get into a school you love, or you want to complain about the application process, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to chat. And y'all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye.